Yo, 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 fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Hello, I'm streaming. I'm going to post the fact that I'm streaming up. Anyone on my Discord can willingly join if they want to. I'm gonna put this stream up on my Discord and possibly the YouTubes. I don't know, but we'll see. So at everyone not tuna. Everyone streaming again, mostly chill talking time. So, boom. And I'll tweet it out to if anyone wants to hear me kind of just spill out my thoughts or on shit or whatever, they can 100% do that. So I'm just gonna tweet it. Just a chill talking stream. Feel free to chill with me, lads. Okay, boom. That's the tweet sent. Just for any Twitter followers that want to chill out and just talk. So you have these wonderful GIFs going on in the background. Also, this is the clearest my microphone has ever been, probably because of just me talking directly into the mic. That'd probably be the reason. But yeah, no. I'm now back, boys. I'm willing to pretty much answer any questions that you might have for me in the chat, pretty much. So this might be a questions and answers type deal. I don't really know. If you want to get to know me, this is a good time to do it, I guess. I'll also be talking about stuff that I've been, like, reading and getting up to, I guess. And also maybe, like, how I've been doing with coursework. I don't know. I've got a lot on my mind at the moment, so, I mean, feel free. I don't really give a shit. Yeah. Lovely, lovely drinks. But yes, I guess I'll just kind of ramble about some shit for now. But yeah, I was watching, like, just a few minutes ago, I was just listening to Nyanners on stream doing this, like, cozy karaoke night thing, and it was weird, but I really enjoyed it. It was like it was a chill time listening to it, and she did this cover of or karaoke cover, whatever, of Safe and Sound from the Hunger Games, and that kind of just got me thinking about, like, you got me thinking about just Hunger Games in general, and sort of, like, how fucking wrong they got the adaptation, and, well, that and just how generally bad it is. I hate the rest of the books. I read, like, the first probably 50 pages, not chapters, first 50 pages of Catching Fire, and I just didn't care. I just stopped. I just put it down because, one, it was nowhere near as good as the first book, and second, it dragged way too much, way more than the first one, because it expanded on concepts that I just didn't care about, and it focused on aspects of cat piss Everydeen way too much, where I already got her character and I didn't need to know this much about Katniss at this point. And I feel like a sequel of The Hunger Games was not needed. I feel like the writer just sort of, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but I mean, I have the book with me now, I think. Actually, I don't know. I swore I had the book. Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, I have Catching Fire on me. It's Suzanne Collins. Suzanne Collins was just probably, like, kind of pissed for ideas, so she just was like, let's make it about revolution, boys. It's only the next step up. But I mean, like, it really should have ended at just that book. It should have just been a standard standalone thing. I liked the way it ended. I liked the book a lot. It was okay. Actually, no, I wouldn't say I liked it a lot. I would say I enjoyed it. It's a decent read. If you want to have like a really chill little read of a decent dystopic story, then absolutely you can check it out. That's all it really is. It's just a really simple dystopian story that's very unoriginal. It's been done before. Like Battle Royale did it already like 10 times better. um, and Suzanne Collins, understandably, was like confronted about just how scarily close the concepts are to Battle Royale, because Battle Royale was taken directly from Lord of the Flies, and then Hunger Games was taken from Battle Royale indirectly. Um, and yeah, like it's dumb. The whole thing is kind of dumb, honestly. You know, we're at this point now where like projects that are touted as original aren't actually original. They're it's like even the most original of projects, or even the most original of ideas, they're always stemmed from something. Um, and it's hard to really pinpoint like what's the most original thing ever. Like, yeah, there's Lord of the Flies. I would say, yeah, is the most original idea because there wasn't really anything too much like it before it, and it was, yeah, it was an absolutely original idea. It was the concept of like a bunch of kids just a bunch of kids killing each other and forming a tribe and shit, and there's pigs involved, like severed pig heads. It's a great story. Lord of the Flies is one of the best stories out there. It's wonderful. Would read again. And then just every other clone of it after that wasn't nearly quite as good, for the exception of Battle Royale, which was, yeah, fantastic. It's one of the best Japanese films ever, and also it's very gory, and it doesn't hold back whatsoever in anything. It's very fucked up, and that's part of what makes it so enjoyable, is that it's just high school kids slashing each other apart. Um, but yeah, it's a good dystopic little film, and Hunger Games happens to be dangerously similar, right down to the genre. Even the genre is very, pretty much the same. Um, no, the Hunger Games decides to strap on a weirdly layered romance story that also the decision to have ultra strong female character that wasn't, I don't think, in Battle Royale, at least last time I checked. But yeah, I don't know, it's a really typical little story. It's nothing too amazing. It's a decent light read, and it goes on about simple themes that a lot of stories go into, so it's nothing too challenging to read. It doesn't have anything that's too like, whoa, this is so intellectual and deep. This is like 2001: A Space Odyssey, nothing like that, but it goes into some decent avenues, I guess, for what it's trying to do. Also, I have one viewer. Like, I don't even know who that viewer is, but hello, single viewer that is listening to me ramble about stupid shit that doesn't really matter. But yeah, like, when it comes to Hunger Games, yeah, I fucking hate Hunger Games. The only thing I like about it is the book, and it's just the first one. Every other entry in the series is garbage, in my opinion. I just can't stand it. It's bad. The movie is so bad. It's probably one of the worst adaptations, and it's like, it's hard to kind of define what's the worst adaptation of something. Like what makes an adaptation bad? Like, could it be the misrepresentation of the source material, or it's just a bad, like, it's a bad reading of it, and or maybe it's just a really shit film that does translate the aspects of the book, but it just adds shit that's so cringe and awful, And I think that one falls under the purview of the Hunger Games, in my opinion. It definitely, it certainly, yeah, it holds the book in high reverence, but it adds shit to it and also removes aspects of the book that, yeah, is filler, but it's actually important filler. And I was thinking this over my head at one point, like, yo, The Hunger Games probably would have been great as a TV series, and it just never became a TV series. It's like, it's the reason why Game of Thrones works so well. Like Game of Thrones or not, Game of Thrones works. It works because it's a great little fucking, it's a great little fucking concept of this long-ass book. And yes, the books are fucking long. The first book alone is like 5 million pages, and making a film out of that is really difficult. And I mean, same with Lord of the Rings too. So I mean, when it comes to making another Lord of the Rings, it's understandably incredibly fucking difficult to make that kind of, I guess, stroke of genius work again. Like, whether you like Lord of the Rings or not, it succeeded very well at being a good adaptation. It was a great adaptation, but arguably not a great film. I personally really liked the movies, but I can understand why a lot of people would find them cringy or bad or awful. I can understand that. But they are exceptional adaptations, and they managed to pay so much homage and tribute to Tolkien that it works. It works really well. It works really well as an adaptation, and it works pretty well as a film, surprisingly. And for years, people saw Lord of the Rings as completely impossible to adapt. So it was sort of like taken as like, hey, if Lord of the Rings could be adapted, then anything can be, and that's true. But like, in what form though? In what medium? And Game of Thrones was one of those mediums where it was impossible to make a film. It just had so much going on. It had too much going on. It had too much history. It had too much characters that it decided to focus on, and so it became insane. So they made a show out of it, and it was a good decision on their part. I personally don't like the show. Not a fan. I never really was terribly interested in the show at all in any conceivable way. It just never really pulled me. It never really took me in under its wing here. It was just it was an incredibly boring show in my opinion, and it just didn't really make me go, wow, this is a super interesting TV show about families and shit. I just didn't care about it. And in the long run, I just gave up on it after 3 seasons, which is a crap load of time to get into a show. And it was lost on me. All the information was lost on me. All the interactions and shit was just lost on me. And none of the violence really left an impression on me. Nothing really left an impression on me. I just didn't really get it. I didn't get why so many people were into it. And I even borrowed a friend of mine at the time. He was a friend of mine. I borrowed his box set for season 4, but I just couldn't watch it. I couldn't bring myself to watch it because I just was that bored by it. It had all these action scenes and action sequences and war and all that, but it didn't really hit me. There wasn't like a moment that was like, wow, Game of Thrones is so exciting and whimsical. It never had those same moments for me that Lord of the Rings did, and that's why in my opinion, like, yeah, Lord of the Rings is a million times better, and I'd rather watch Lord of the Rings because there's something so inherently boring about watching families and like houses and shit discuss the kingdoms and revenge and backstabbing that it's something about that I just don't care about whatsoever. Also, hey, Red Blueberg. It's just something about that just completely dulls me so hard, even when drunk. Like, a lot of people say that Game of Thrones is best experienced with a wine in hand and just slowly sipping away. And I did, actually. I watched most of Season 1 while drinking red wine. The most classiest of experiences, and it just didn't do anything for me. Even with the wine, I just couldn't get into it. I really don't care about Game of Thrones. So yeah, that's it really. Like, when it comes to adaptations, it's good. The series overall is an incredibly truthful adaptation, and it adds a lot to it as well, and it adds a shit ton from the book, and it actually is better than the books in a lot of ways, objectively. And Tolkien even gives a seal of approval for it. The book goes into areas that are really fucking uncomfortable as well, whereas the show is a lot more easier to digest. Mostly because most of the characters in the books are children, and that's what makes it really unsettling. Seeing the shit that happens. Jon Snow is like a 15-year-old kid in the books, which is yeesh. But yeah, no, the whatever. It's a good adaptation of a book I'm not interested in, and it's a show I'm not interested in. End of, I guess. Really, I could just go on about it for hours about, like, adaptations. Are they good? Are they bad? I could even do a series on Hey Lamau. Is this a good adaptation or not? Whoa. Also, to anyone who's just joining, yeah, this is gonna be mostly talking. It's gonna be mostly me just chilling out and talking about random shit. There's like also on the subject of like adaptations, there's one film that I've always defended ever since I was like 15. It was The Shining. I've always defended that, like always. Also, hey John. hey. Oh, hi John. You walked in on me talking about adaptations in film. So hello. A super LOL Lamau fucking intellectual conversation on adaptations in movies. It's a super interesting conversation. You can 100% just listen to me talk about that being a thing for a while. Or not. I mean, it's your choice, my dude. But yes, in regards to The Shining's film by Stanley Kubrick, I think it is probably one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. One of the best horror movies ever created. It's just so inherently amazing and well made. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's everything that a horror movie should be, and that's fucking unsettling. The Shining is an unsettling movie to watch, even now, and the film came out in like 1980, and it's still effective. It's still so terrifying in its presentation. It's a fucking scary goddamn movie because it's a typical concept. It's a very simple idea in that it's just Indian ghosts haunt a house, and the caretaker brings his family and then chops them up. It's a simple idea, simple concept, but what Stanley Kubrick does with Stephen King's story, which, yeah, Stephen King's story, yeah, it goes into a lot, and it's a good book. Actually, it's a really good book. It's, I think, to really fully enjoy The Shining, you have to read the book and the movie just to kind of see the differences. because there's a huge amount of differences, and objectively, the movie is a bad adaptation in a different way. It's a bad adaptation because it actively goes against the grain. It actively goes against everything that the book insists on going in. Like, even right down to something as so petty as the fucking Volkswagen Beetle color. The color of the Beetle is different even. The film, it's yellow. In the book, it's red. It's such a small change, but it is such a giant fuck you to Stephen King that it's really amusing. I both love Stephen King and hate him at the same time. And by hate him, I mean, like, I really can't stand how he writes sometimes. And I mean sometimes. Most of the time, I find him really bearable. I find him a really enjoyable writer, actually. He puts a lot of, like, personality into the characters, and his writing style is so unique. It's undeniable. It's uncanny, actually. You read, like, when I was reading Misery, it was a very interesting book. Like, he really puts a lot of detail into how the characters are feeling, including, like, mostly in how the characters' sensations are. Like, if he's feeling a really strong sensation, it's mentioned, it's dropped in there, and you can feel that this is a living, breathing world. It feels alive, and I love it. Like, the opening of Misery is so good because he goes into sort of the feeling of being knocked out, the feeling of nearing death, and he uses like pilings as metaphors for him passing on to death. It's surreal, but it works really well, and it really puts you in his shoes. He does it in a very really, really cool way. Also, hello, Sir Apollo Draken the Iron Lord. This is a talking stream. I'm mostly just chilling and talking. I also said this earlier to one person watching. I don't know who that one person was, but I was basically just saying, like, because I'm mostly just going to be talking, if you guys have any questions, I'm willing to answer. This could be classified as a Q&A stream. It's also classified as a really chill stream. So yeah. Also had to blow my nose, so that was what the weird sound was. So yeah. Just a relaxed, chill little stream, really. I'm gonna play some music in the background that's gonna really relax your soul. You can take this as like a weird little radio thing. And I'm talking about adaptations, by the way, and sort of like how I feel about them. I don't know. I come up with weird things to talk about that I'm passionate about. Most of them tied with films. I love movies. I love and hate them at the same time. Because movies, man, they can be the most amazing thing, but they can also be the worst thing ever. And the Star Wars conveyor belt proves why movies are dying. Also, yeah, back to music. I'm gonna play some chill hop thing in the background. No, this doesn't work. Yeah, there we go. This is a nice usage of music. I have no idea how loud this is. So let me know how loud the music is. I'm willing to turn it down. So yeah. So favorite movie of all time? I have to say it's an easy answer for me because it's been my favorite movie for about 10 years now. It's fine. Because it's really quiet for me. Anyway, favorite movie is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's been my favorite movie for years. Since I was a little kid, actually. I got, could tell the story, I guess, but it's not a particularly amazing one. When I was like a little kid, for my birthday, I got an Indiana Jones box set. I'd never seen the movies. I just got them on DVD, and I was like, hey, this is pretty chill. I wanna kind of I want to kind of watch these movies for the first time. Yeah, let me know if the volume is too loud on the music, and I'll turn it down, cuz the levels are kind of weird. But yeah, though, it's fine so far. All right. But yeah, I got Indiana Jones on DVD, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And so I watched all of them that one day. I'll shut up about the music. Okay, but yeah, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch them all. So I watched Raiders. I loved it. Like, I watched all three on my birthday, same day, and, so I saw Raiders and fell in love. It was the first time I'd watched an Indiana Jones movie, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen. It was like the perfect mix of like history and action, and it enthralled me. Like, Harrison Ford's performance was fantastic. He just didn't give a shit, which was really fun. And you could tell he cared about the character and just everything about it. It was a great fucking movie. And then I watched Temple of Doom, which at the time, I hated. I didn't really like Temple of Doom all that much. It didn't click with me. I didn't care about Short Round at all. I just hated I just hated a lot about the movie. I didn't really truly appreciate Temple of Doom until years later. And then I watched Last Crusade. Last Crusade, I loved it then, and I still love it now. I have never watched a movie that has managed to make me feel so much all in once. I could do an entire essay on Last Crusade, on Indiana Jones. Oh yeah, Willie is a million times worse than Short Round, I agree, Dan. Also, welcome to the stream, Dan. But yeah, I just didn't really find Temple of Doom that great. I loved its opening as a kid, and I still do. The opening for Temple of Doom was really cool. Paid a lot of homage to 007 and just a bunch of spy movies from that period. It was nice. It was nice to see, and also had a great little opening track. And John Williams probably, did his best work on Temple of Doom. But Last Crusade, in my opinion, is still the best work that anyone has ever done. It's the best Spielberg movie. It's the best music as well by John Williams, and it's the best performance out of everyone because it's aware of itself. It's, I think, like, for the most part, completely aware of how ridiculous a lot of the movie is, and it makes it so much fun to watch, because not only is it kind of aware of itself, but it's aware of itself in a way that's so grand and so fantastic and so fun that I've been sucked into it ever since then. And I watched all three movies recently, and it just kind of reminded me more of why I liked Last Crusade so much. I liked Last Crusade because it felt like an adventure. It felt like a real adventure, like not just those typical like dumb-ass little adventure movies. Not even like a typical adventure serial that it's paying homage to. It feels really like a trip around the world. Like you're seeing all of this happen, and it feels so satisfying to watch. It feels so satisfying when he ends up in Cairo, I believe, or whatever the fuck. He goes into the temple, and he finds the Holy Grail, and it's something that's truly amazing to see, because It's something more special than those fucking weird glowing orbs from Temple of Doom, or the Ark, the Ark of the Covenant. It's something more fucking impactful than that. I love the chemistry between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. It's just so natural and so well done, and it's fun. It's funny. It's a funny movie. It makes me laugh. It genuinely, like, it's one of the few movies that makes me just really happy to watch it. It's like my comfort movie all the way. And I can't recommend it enough. Like, if anyone hasn't seen Indiana Jones, I hate you. Like, if you haven't seen Indiana Jones before, I'm upset that you haven't, because it's so good. What is this? Got a few keywords that'll send you down a rabbit hole that'll ruin your life. John Williams, Star Wars temp track. I heard that Star Wars used temp tracks. I heard about this, and it's really unsettling. I don't wanna know about those temp tracks, man. Well, I don't want to know about any John Williams Star Wars temp tracks. You know what? I'm just gonna look it up. Because now you've got me curious. You've got me wanting to check this out. John Williams Star Wars temp track. Oh my god. I'm just seeing like a thing that just said, yeah, Star Wars the temp track. It's just people fucking trying to find all the different temp tracks used in the initial screening before Brian De Palma was like, you know what, no, stop. Just stop. Stop, George, please. But, yeah, nah, Indiana Jones is definitely, like, collectively I love them all, but Last Crusade's my favorite, and it will always be my favorite movie of all time. I can't stress that enough. It might be because I was a kid, but I watched it as an adult, and I can't, even then, I can't see that even. I love it objectively because I find it so enjoyable to watch. It's fun. It's a movie that's fun. It's a movie that is aware of how fun it is, and it keeps it up consistently throughout the entire film. It never slows down. It literally never does. I love its structure because once it starts like all the others, but it's something about how it just completely goes into this giant crescendo, this massive crescendo of finding the Grail, and it's so perfectly paced and perfectly, like, put together, in my opinion, and I've never seen a movie that's just done as well as Last Crusade. And not only that, that's made me smile as much as Last Crusade has. But anyway, I'm done talking about Last Crusade because I'm gonna talk you guys' ear off about it because I just have too much to talk about. Personal opinions. Just Last Crusade's amazing. I can't just it makes me happy even talking about it, even like the name, just that opening too. Oh fuck. Just picking apart things. I can't even stop talking about it now. Like, the opening is so good. It starts off in Utah, and then he goes on the train, and he punches the guy in the face, and then the other guy in the face, and then he goes in the snake pit, and then it establishes Indy's fear of snakes, and it's good. It's good. Oh, it's good. They even explain, like, the little scar that Harrison Ford has. I mean, you know, you got any questions that I can answer? That you got in your mind? I can answer them. I mean, I don't really care. Again, it's a Q&A stream. Kind of. So, I mean, if you have anything for me to talk about, I can talk about it. Unless it's something I just am not interested in, or something I don't know about, then I can't help you there. I have social anxiety. It's not bad, but it's like... it's... I don't know, when it comes to people talking about shit I don't give two fucks about, I don't want to talk about it. Personal opinions on Rey as a whole. Well, yeah, like Rayman, like... If you're talking about Rey from Star Wars, it's spelled R-E-Y, not R-A-Y, but okay, like Stingray. Oh, you actually might be, you may be talking about Rey the Stingray from Finding Nemo. Again, it's spelled R-E-Y, not R-A-Y. Why are you making this mistake? Oh my god. Stop it, you're embarrassing yourself. Okay, Rey from Star Wars. I don't like her character at all. I fucking hate Rey. I used to defend that. I defended Rey for 2 years. I always did. I defended her since yeah, lags a bit, of course. Whatever, I don't care. But no, Rey, I defended her up until Last Jedi came out. Now I can't. Rey literally is a Mary Sue. Like, get your speeches and shit like way too late. Whoa. Well, I can't help myself. I gotta get on my soapbox, you know? Talking about things. But no, I hate Rey. I'm not even neutral about it. Like, I used to like Rey. I thought that she had like a purpose to her. She had a reason to be the way she was. She has no reason. She just is a Mary Sue. Rian Johnson's depiction of Rey is horrible, and it's even worse that J.J. Abrams supports it, and it's upsetting. Oh, you can't send a link? Hold on. Hold on, I will make you admin. Now you can send links. I don't know why you can't just let people send links. And yes, she 100% does. But, I get the Chosen One thing. Hell, I get the pilot. But what I don't get is why she's able to do all this shit. And she just is able to. She has no reason for it. And I thought they'd explain it or do something that's cool. That's not Mary Sue-ish. But she just for no reason has all of this power. It is awful. It's the worst thing ever. She's a badly written character. And I thought she was good. I thought she had like a lot to her. And that was what I was hoping for. All the stuff that I defended Force Awakens on, yeah. I still like Force Awakens, but I keep thinking of Last Jedi every time I see it, and I just can't believe it. I liked Last Jedi. Let me just preface this by saying I actually enjoyed Last Jedi, but it ruins everything that I stood with for the Force Awakens. It absolutely just ruined everything I liked about The Force Awakens and its characters. It's true that Luke was a Mary Sue as well, but here's the thing, Luke had a reason for why he was like that. He had a reason why he had the Force. He had a reason why he could do all this cool stuff and why he was chosen. Because he was the son of Anakin Skywalker. Because he was the son of Darth Vader, a cool super Sith Lord guy. And Rey doesn't have anything. Like, I get the point of Last Jedi was that, you know, anyone could be a Jedi. Anyone could be a Jedi, cool guy. They literally say that in the ending when, like, the kid has, like, a broom and shit, and he's like, I fight for the rebellion, I have the Force. It made me cringe in the theater, and I enjoyed the movie up until that point, and I hated that ending. Like, this is coming from someone who enjoyed the movie, and even I am like, that ending was the worst fucking thing I think I've ever seen from this whole franchise. It's I don't know, like, I was talking to my friend Stu about this. I was talking to Stu about this, actually, after I watched the movie, and he was like, why did you like it? I was like, I just did. It had fun. But, yes, every point he made was absolutely correct. Of course, he's always right about a lot of shit, and it annoys me. But, yes, the whole anyone can be a Jedi is dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Like, also, no, Red Bluebird, you're wrong. No, Rey did have issues. Not just as a character, but yeah, character flaws. She had character flaws too. She was weak. She was afraid a lot of the time. And, yeah, like, no, she did have flaws like Luke. Like, no. But in terms of power, in terms of shit like that, like being able to move rocks and shit, yeah, that's where I call bullshit. Also, Snoke was a waste of time. Snoke was an absolute waste of time. The Last Jedi is a film that gets worse and worse with more scrutiny, in my opinion. Yes, I agree, Dan. I agree. Yeah. And Dan's also saying the writing also suffers from a childish desire to subvert expectations, and it weighs the film down heavily. Yeah. I mean, not every film has to subvert expectations. Not every film has to have that kind of writing style. I absolutely agree with that. And it was, yeah, dumb. I don't know. Killing Snoke served a purpose. Killing Snoke served a purpose in showing that Snoke was the most pointless character to ever be brought up in the entire franchise. Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's dumb. His death was stupid. My credibility took a hit after sending all those Rayman pics. Yeah, it did. Also, a purpose to kill off someone dressed like he's ready to sleep with 2 girls in the bedrooms. Yes. Are you talking about Harvey Weinstein? I think you're talking about Harvey Weinstein, Red Bluebird. Like, I think that's where you're going with this. Are you trying to say that Snoke is Harvey Weinstein this whole time? Holy shit, that would explain why he died so easily and why he was so weak. Also, I get the idea is his mind was clouded in the moment. It is a reach. It is a massive reach, because he was if he's like an almighty powerful Jedi, like Sith, he should have been able to sense the fucking lightsaber moving towards him. It's stupid. Also, that's enough talking The Last Jedi, because it's starting to make me mad. Different thing to talk about, different question or whatever the hell you want to do. I don't really care. But yeah, I've got just realizing I've got like douche sunglasses in my room that I just never wear. Video games? That's an awful start to the conversation. That's such an awful goddamn like beginning. So you like video games? It's like there's that guy that's like there's always that like at least one guy that you know in mid conversation where you're talking and you're like you lose sight of what you want to talk about. So there's a guy that's like, so you like video games? And then we're like, fuck you. That guy is always fun to be around. Also, hey, Koala Gaming, hello. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, let's not put Red Blueberg in charge of conversations. Since you have 13 Saidamas on screen, would you enjoy a One Punch Man game? I mean, depends. I mean, it depends on who's making it, and depends on what it's about and what it's like. I heard there is gonna be one, but I don't know. If there would be one, it would have to be made by Platinum. I feel like that's kind of a rule. Platinum needs to make it. Yeah, nothing like Ninja Storm. Video games, right. Friggin' Shadow of the Colossus PS4, it keeps crashing on the 14th. Colossus, same spot every try. Really, John? Holy shit. No one else is having the problem either. Wow. That sucks for you, dude. Sucks. It's probably your copy of the game that's just faulty. That really sucks. Tomorrow I'm getting Prey. OPM would suffer from design issues because, wait, what's OPM? Sorry, I'm done. Oh, sorry, One Punch Man. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Sorry, apologies. One Punch Man would suffer from design issues because large-scale encounters would have to be based around quantity and not quality. And they'd have to be a system to support more stylish players. Platinum would put their B team on it and it would suck. Snapchat, yeah, I guess so. Unless they tweak, and Dan furthers this by saying, unless they tweak the one-hit nature of Saitama, it would suffer from the issue Vanquish had where simpler players take the path of least resistance. Yeah, I guess so. Like, but yeah, my point still stands about One Punch Man. It would have to be done by a really good developer that's good with fighting games and good with, like, action games. I feel like, yeah, I'd actually like the idea of, like, a company... I know this is a strange suggestion, but I like the idea of Sucker Punch doing a One Punch Man game. And not just because of the name of the company. I'm not being funny here. By saying, yeah, I like the idea of a company that worked on the Sly games to kind of do something out of their league and do something a bit interesting with it. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it, though. I think a One Punch Man game could also benefit from being multiple genres as well, not just fighting. Ubisoft has its issues? Yeah. Definitely. I doubt you'd play as Saitama. There's no way. I mean, there's enough other characters. Heck, you could make your own hero. So what? It's like... So the concept would be, like, you're playing as a character that wants to be like Saitama, but he never ends up being that, kind of. I don't know. Like, it could be that you play as, like, a guy. You play as, like, yourself or whatever, and the player character is like, I want to be just like Saitama, and he never can be, and he's just a failure. Yeah, it would take away from the fact of it being a One Punch Man game as well. It would also be a bit unfair because you would just end up being the... You would just end up fucking one-hitting enemies. It wouldn't be really that fair. So maybe there shouldn't be a One Punch Man game, to be honest. Yeah, put them in Injustice 2. That's a... I mean, if you could put the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and fucking Hellboy in Injustice 2, I mean, you could put anyone in it. Yeah, and if you flip it so you fight Saitama, your path would just only end in failure. Oh my god, you wouldn't survive. You just die. If you even try to touch Saitama, you just die. I want Danny DeVito in Injustice 2. Just put his character from It's Always Sunny and you pretty much got it down. It's really depressing how little people in my college watch It's Always Sunny. It's really fucking sad. Because It's Always Sunny is really good.
Can I stay a bit longer?
But, yeah, I don't know. I had something really interesting to talk about, and I just completely forgot it, so I don't really know. Voice acting? I don't know. What if you were one of the heroes that kept getting the shaft when Saitama gets the big kills? You'd be jealous of him stealing kills. What, so... I mean, yeah, like I said before, like, you want to be like Saitama, and so you become, like, a big hero guy, and you become part of the League, and then Saitama's, like, heavily involved. But, yeah, I guess, yeah, it wouldn't make for that good of a game, because you wouldn't be playing as actually Saitama. But, I don't know. In general, yeah, I do see it not being a very great game in retrospect. It's better as, like, a shitpost. It's really just a shitpost. That's all it mostly is at the end of the day. But, yeah. Also, as for voice acting, I don't know. As an action series, One Punch Man isn't that good. It's more of a cheap comedy thrill series to me. Yeah. You can't really take One Punch Man too seriously. It's a bit overrated. It's decent. It's fun to watch. But I wouldn't really... I feel like it sort of suffers from the problems that it's parodying. The problems of the shows that it's parodying, which it's like... it is taking the piss out of like Dragon Ball Z type shows, but it actually ultimately kind of becomes that, and it becomes sort of the thing it's parodying after a while, and it doesn't become that entertaining to watch, in my opinion. But yes, the little webcomic is fucking great. Yeah, well, we'll see. Like, I think as a game, I'm iffy on the idea. Like, in all honesty. And then there was, like, something about removing his limiter. I don't know. We could see at some point in the world. Explains his power. It was most likely retconned. My Hero Academia has just left in the dust, and has kind of just left it in the dust at this point. I don't know too much about My Hero Academia, so I'm not. Yeah, I've never really watched My Hero Academia, if I'm gonna be honest. So this conversation's not really something I'm too knowledgeable about, so I can't talk about My Hero Academia too much. I've heard a lot of good things about it. A friend of mine was in the English dub of it, but, well, an old friend of mine was in the English dub for it. I'm tired? Nope. It's 1 in the morning, and I've managed not to really be that tired. Similar world, much better story and characters. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that, like, My Hero Academia has, like, kind of a silliness to it. Yeah. I've heard, yeah, it's, like, My Hero Academia, but, like, less of a shitpost. It's also, yeah, I've heard, I've heard that the dub was really highly well received. It's funny that the people that I know, the people that I actually kind of have talked to and have known in the past, who work for Funimation, they happen to be a part of the good dubs. Like, I know one girl I used to know, I can't remember her name, but one woman I used to know who currently works for Funimation, she was in the dub of Nanbaka, and I've heard that that dub is really good as well. So yeah, proud of my boys. Proud of my boys. Red Blueberg, you're asking why I have an American accent, but I'm British. Yes, that question's been asked a lot in my personal life, as well as my online presence as well. I will answer this, even though it's been answered a million times, and I've had to answer it a lot. You're not being rude by asking it, but you can't blame me if I'm a little bit annoyed by how many times I get asked it. Like, it interests people, which is nice, I guess, but yeah. Good answer. Yeah, I was hit with a car, that's why. It was like, it started when I was like 7 years old, and the actual like length of it is pretty long, because it extends all the way back to 2007, 2008. And I got handed the internet by my mother, and she was like, "Hello, here's a laptop so you can have fun on the internet." And this is like the early days of YouTube. This is the early days of the internet, actually, for me anyway. So I was like, alright, I guess I'll check this out. And I looked at YouTube, and I watched a lot of like Americans, and I was like first exposed to real Americans and not just cartoons. Cartoons sort of like they started it, but the YouTube people really got it. Yes, I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled for pretty much most of my life. I was in primary school for about a year or two, and then I kind of got kicked out because I didn't really deal with it very well. I don't know, it didn't really fit with me at all. I didn't feel good about it as a little kid. I just felt terrible. I just felt terrified, actually. And I just was... Also, I was kind of a shitty kid as well. I was just horrible. I was a mean kid, which I grew up to be an asshole. But like, you know, I'm a lot more of a different asshole than the kind of asshole I used to be. But yeah, no, I was homeschooled for 10 years, maybe more than that, like 12, 13 years. I don't know. I don't really remember the years. I know it's, I know I stopped, I know I started getting homeschooled at around 2005, 2006-ish. So, yeah, it's about right. And yeah, I grew up on the internet for most of my life, and I stayed at home for the majority of my time as well. So I would just go online, watch Americans play video games, and get angry. Literally, my fucking experience with Americans for the first few years of me going on YouTube was my thoughts on Americans were they're very angry people. I always saw Americans as very angry people that are very like easy to piss off. And then I watched Chuggaaconroy, and then that completely changed my perspective of it for so long. And Chuggaaconroy was like a Let's Player, and I used to watch him religiously as a child, up until I was like 14. And yeah, he was my shit, man. Like he basically raised me in a weird way. He's the reason why I have this accent. My accent originally was New York. I had a very Boston accent as a kid, and so I just grew up talking like Boston for a while, and then I watched Chuggaaconroy, and I watched his videos like every day, and I just grew into this weird Floridian accent combined with a Boston accent, and it just became this. And I always talked in it. I always did. I couldn't stop it, and the cartoons that I used to watch a lot as a kid didn't help either. I used to watch a lot of SpongeBob. So, all I knew was the American accent. I grew up a lot around Australian, because I was raised by an Australian family, who immigrated to the UK. I had a very posh accent growing up, but then it changed when I started watching Americans. Yeah, someone comes out of the vault in the Fallout universe, sees an AV Gen video, runs back in. Oh my god. Just, no, sees fucking Chris Boars and runs. Like, you go out of the vault and then you just see Chris Boars coming at you, and you're like, oh shit, better stay in. Also, you got college in 6 hours. Oh, rest in peace, Red Blueberry. Gotta complete some shit. It's been awesome talking about. Hope you're not pushing too hard for that voice acting job. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, my dude. It's appreciated. Just doing that fucking voice acting job has been nuts. Hopefully I get cast. Or no, rather no. I think I already have basically been cast. He's just looking for my voice, really, and seeing which voice suits it, and then we'll just roll with it, and then I'll be in the game in the next update, possibly. We'll see. But if I end up being in the update, I'm gonna make such a big fanfare out of it. I'm just gonna brag about it to everyone. Just, oh my god, I'm in the new update for Yandere Simulator. Oh my god. I don't know. It's been insane. The past like few weeks have been crazy. Hell, the past week has been crazy. I only just found out about this whole situation. It's been nuts. Because I've wanted the job for 2 years, 4 years actually. 4 years I've been wanting that job, and now I got it, and I'm happy. I'm happy about it. And this is absolutely bragging. This is absolutely 100% bragging. I'm not even gonna hide that shit. It's like, but I'm gonna brag like 100% harder when the video drops, and out I come. Like, what to do? What to do, my dudes? Yeah, I love it. I'm just happy, man. And last Friday just helped a lot. Like, I talked about this last stream, but no one came on. But yeah, like I talked about Friday and how Friday was probably the best day that I've ever had, because I broke the no drinking rule for that one day because I wanted to. And it was like the best night, I think, one of the best nights I've ever had, because I got to actually spend it kind of just talking to friends and chilling. And I had, like, yeah, the occasional people that I didn't like that were saying, oh, you're killing the mood, man. Like, there was like 2 people saying that, and I'm like, and everyone else is like, oh, this is fun. Like, I like seeing this stupid idiot named Matt, like, opening up. And I don't know, I got to fix a lot of shit that happened back in November and December, and I got to really clear things up, and I don't know, I feel a lot more complete. Being drunk can be good sometimes. That's what I'm learning. It can be a good thing and a bad thing. It can be a good thing because you can really get to know people, and you get to really get out of your shell, and that's what I've managed to do. It's bad because I shouldn't have to use it to get out of my shell, but sometimes I need to get out of my shell just to. I need to open up more, and I need to talk to people. And if I got a drink to do that, then goddamn it, I'll drink. So that's it, really. Just so I can break the barriers with people, and that's what I needed, to break the barriers, and now it doesn't feel as awkward anymore. Also, hello, Brutism. Hey, Laverne, it's been a little bit of a while. I'm really enjoying your Ghibli drawings, by the way. I'm really glad you're getting to see more Ghibli movies. Or at least you're getting to see them more often, I guess. It's nice. It's really nice. I really liked the Totoro one. I like Totoro. I have a thing for Ghibli. Ghibli is just everything Ghibli is wonderful. I absolutely love pretty much almost everything that they've ever made. There's exceptions, of course, but yes, it's no problem, man. I just enjoy your art. They're unique. They're weird and interesting, and I like them. Yeah. Also, this chill hop music that I have in the background, that's also a thing. Whoa. I'm gonna put dancing Squidward. I'm gonna put like glorious ballet Squidward down the side, so it's a lot more appropriate. I might be playing some video games. I don't know. We'll see what happens and what ends up going on. But yeah, fucking I gotta play with the controller as well. I just have to. I just don't know what to play really. Papers, Please is too easy. Oh, I'm Miami is too easy. I don't know. As for what's up, God, it has been a while since we talked, and a lot has happened. I got a big role in a video game that I've been wanting to kind of be in for 4 years. And yes, Laverne, I see your message watching your stream now. Also, hey, just responded to a couple people. It's cool. I just realized I got like a bunch of messages that I didn't even realize I had. But yeah, no, it's just been madness the past week. Getting a lot done, getting voice acting done. I'm back into doing voice acting. I finally got jobs that have just come to me, and I'm doing them. I actually finished this recording for this guy named Digby, who's really cool to work with, and he's got this project coming up, and yeah, I mean, when it's out, it's out. He's working on a few of the episodes now. Pretty much all of my lines for the character are done. I don't want to disclose too much about the whole series, but yeah, it's a pretty neato little series, and I get to scream a lot in it. There's I say a lot. I'm a main character in it, and basically he has the same voice as I do. He's just got my voice. I don't do anything crazy for the role. I initially was gonna do a lot for it. It was gonna be a lot more nasally, a lot different, but we ended up just going with my normal voice for it. And that's usually what just ends up happening. In the long run, they're like, you know what? We'll just use your normal voice. Don't even do anything too crazy. We're just done. And yeah, I ended up recording about 13, 14 episodes of it, and yeah. I mean, Laverne, what's been up with you? Like, I think that's the more important question. Because, I mean, I haven't heard from you in a while, and there's, like, the fact that we hadn't played Left 4 Dead in a while. But, meh, I don't know, man. Also, hey, fellas, again, like, if you have any questions at all, you can answer them. It's a Q&A stream, kind of. Get on voice chat? Oh, sure, man. But yeah, whatever. Blah. Let's get in voice chat. Let's get in VC. And let's talk about shit. Favorite recent game? Oh boy, I like that question. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit more because I wanna just turn it a bit more down low. That's not the only thing I gotta get put on the down low, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm gonna get Lavern in here in a bit, because I'm gonna force him in this stream. But yeah, no, we'll do voice chat. Blah. Also, hey Lavern, hello. Let's see if your mic is on.
Hey,
oh,
I'm Matt.
shit.
Hi. Yes.
Shit. Scared me. Hello. Also, that's how's it been, my dude?
How have I been? Just alright. Just chilling. I am still on my uni break.
Yeah, I'm still on college break as well. Like, it's half term break for me. Yeah. So, I've got a whole week off. And yeah, drawing as usual. That's really cool. And watching Ghibli movies. My boy.
So my city is like hosting a marathon of Ghibli films.
Oh,
of course attending the marathon. Well, it's not a marathon in that I'm actually all watching the films at once, but more like they have a film each day. And then
nah, they should be at once. They should be at once. That's how you really do it. I've been to so many marathons, and that's not how you do it. I was in a Wes Anderson marathon, and they showed every film he ever made all in one thing.
And you say you prefer the show? They prefer they show a film per day compared to all at once. Like, what's wrong with watching all at once?
Like, I mean, either way is okay. Like, it's not bad, but I'd prefer if it was like all at once. Because you're able to, for me, I guess, quick fire, get to see all the movies, very quickly, and all at once, and it's a lot more chill, I guess. I don't know. That's just what I personally prefer. But, yeah, I can't really say I've ever been to a Ghibli marathon, so... Yeah, I mean, it must be freaking awesome so far.
Yeah.
What film are you up to?
The marathon they're cutting right now, they're only showing like the ones directed by himself.
Oh, wait, so what movie are you up to again? Sorry, didn't really hear.
I already watched Spirited Away, Ponyo, Kiki's Delivery Service, let me think. Kawaso. No, it's House Moving Castle and My Neighbor Totoro.
All very good. And My Neighbor Totoro was the last one, yeah, that you saw.
And I've been watching like 4 more films.
All right.
I think Princess Mononoke. Nausicaa. What else is there? They don't have the Wind Rises.
Do they have do they have Tales from Earthsea?
They don't have Tales from Earthsea.
They don't? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's really funny. Of course they wouldn't.
I heard it's not really the best film.
It's not.
In fact, it's kind of a bit of a stinker.
It was a disaster. It's an embarrassing disaster, just hearing about how it was made. I liked it, but not as a Ghibli movie. I liked it as its own thing. It's visually fantastic, but, oh god. It's done by Hayao Miyazaki's son. Goro Miyazaki, and I heard about, like, I only recently found out about it, but Tales from Earthsea, oh god, Hayao Miyazaki, his own father just shat on the movie. Like,
oh, that's not fair to his son.
Oh god, no, it isn't. Well, it's more so that he just he just felt like I believe, like, I don't know if this is true, actually. I from what I remember, from what I've heard, I think Miyazaki, like Hayao Miyazaki, just straight up walked out on the movie, like, halfway.
Oh no!
And
His own son's film.
and it's a fucking premiere too, like at the premiere, and he just walked away. And then and then afterwards he said, "You did an okay job, son." And he just started crying and started being like, "Oh, thank you, Dad." It's really sad. Like, even a small amount of praise from his father's enough. That's enough to be like, yeah, I've done it. And then Goro Miyazaki never made another movie again until Up on Poppy Hill. That was
that was good. This time I heard that was good.
That was his best film. And yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I can't really say too much about it. It's an interesting idea, though. Grave of the Fireflies. Have you seen that one?
Once, and it's I would like to see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen it 4 times. Most people would call me a masochist
that
for
film was
doing that.
devastating. How could you let yourself see it 4 times?
I had to see the Japanese version because I couldn't take the dub seriously. The original dub was so bad that they made a second dub, and it was infinitely better. The first dub, it was embarrassing. I don't know if you've seen the original dub or not.
I've seen the dub, but I'm not sure if it's a re-release or the.
Yeah. The one that I saw, it was the original one, and it was basically it was the one where the little girl is voiced by a guy. Like a grown man. And it was really
That's so incompetent. How can they do that?
Oh my god. It was awful. It's a bad dub. And the voice acting's fucking terrible. Like, you get it's just bad. It's just really bad. And the the second dub that was released is infinitely better. And it's, funnily enough, the second dub's actually done by an independent dubbing studio that's actually really quite unprofessional. Yet they did a better job because they had good voice actors on hand. I forgot. I think it was Bang Zoom Media or something. I forgot what it was actually called. But I used to know someone who worked at that studio, and they in that studio worked on A Grave of the Fireflies, and they got the rights from Ghibli because it's the only Ghibli movie that's not owned by Disney. Funnily enough, it was Disney didn't want to have anything to do with a. I don't know why Disney.
They want to do with a film that is so sad and.
I don't know why Disney would not want to have anything to do with a movie about about Japanese people suffering devastation during World War II. I don't know why they'd want to show a child. I don't know why they wouldn't want to show a child slowly die from radiation poisoning.
Poisoning? I thought it was starvation.
Well, actually, no. Technically, it was 2 kids that died. But whatever. The point is, it's sad. And the second dub I've heard is really good. From what I've heard from the second dub, it's actually really good. They hire a real child to voice the child, and it's far more fucking devastating coming from an actual kid that they brought in.
Yeah.
And it feels more like the real dub for it. Like, it feels like Disney worked on it, which is cool. Oh yeah, fun fact: Disney did pretty much all the dubs for Studio Ghibli. So that's why.
In fact, I think the dub. I think it's actually one of the few instances where the dubs are actually just as good, or even better than the.
Yeah,
Japanese.
I mean, also because Disney had a hand in it. Disney actually, are friends with Hayao Miyazaki and like the people like Ghibli, and also Ghibli are heavily inspired by Disney as well. So it's a healthy friendship, and so they have direct correspondence with Ghibli, and so it's it's the best dub ever. And actually, there's some changes in the dub that were approved and greenlit by Miyazaki and the composer as well, Joe Hisaishi, or Hisayashi, I don't know. But yeah, it's there's actually a lot of cool stuff and decisions that were made from Disney for the final production. And on top, and like, yeah, there's problems I have with the dubs sometimes. And there's some weird casting choices, like Anne Hathaway in The Cat Returns, which is a strange decision, but it works. Or Liam Neeson in Ponyo.
Good. I most of the films I watched during the marathon are in Japanese. Only My Neighbor Totoro I watched in English.
Yeah, the English dub for Totoro is really good. And it doesn't have too many celebrities in it. Actually, there's barely any celebrities in My Neighbor Totoro. It's actually all unknowns.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Solid Crab, and that's it.
Yeah. A fun fact, actually. I think. Who's the guy who made Earthbound?
Yes, if you were talking. You're talking about. You can tell me that he voiced.
What was it?
Shigesato Itoi.
Yes, Shigesato Itoi. Shigesato Itoi is actually in My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh yeah.
He voices the dad.
Before he was even making Earthbound, like from what I heard, he was a copywriter. Which I heard it like makes advertising slogans for camp.
Really?
And he was also a writer, and then odd jobs at the moment.
Wait, no, Shigesato Itoi wasn't really a writer. Like, he didn't really physically write because he couldn't. Or at least he didn't know how to write.
Maybe it's not accurate to say writer.
Yeah.
Vicky, he's not really, he doesn't say he's a writer somewhere, but he writes. Essayist, okay? But he does, yada yada yada.
Dude, like, I have no idea what you're saying because you're cutting out so badly.
The Wi-Fi. I think my Wi-Fi is kind of bad.
No, it's Australia. It's Australia's Wi-Fi. It's bad.
Yeah.
John's like Disney is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. The dubs are great, but I hate it when people bring up the Ghibli dubs to dismiss dubs made by small companies. Yeah, that makes me mad too, genuinely, because there's plenty of good dubbing companies, and also, yeah, like the Disney dubs for Ghibli's films aren't, like, even then, not all of them are that great. There's some performances in those dubs that are actually fucking terrible. Like, I didn't really like Andy Richter in The Cat Returns. I think The Cat Returns, in my opinion, is probably the worst. That's probably the worst dub. The Cat Returns dub is, in my opinion, the worst one because it's very cringy. Mostly because a lot of what they added was fucking terrible. Andy Richter playing the fat cat character, it was just I just didn't care for it. A lot of the casting choices were weird. Anne Hathaway did a good job. I mean, considering what she was given, she did a good job. It was the Porco Rosso dub that I liked a lot. I think that's probably the best one. Because Michael Keaton does a shockingly good job as Porco. Like, if there's one dub of Ghibli that I really liked, it was Porco Rosso. Like, everyone did a great job. And it just felt so true to the film and true to the source material and, like, everything. And also, even the extras, like, you had Tress MacNeille as the PA system lady, and you had like yeah, you just had a lot of really good voice talent all throughout. Even the singing was really good too. And you had like the Italian as well. They had actual linguists to help with the pronunciation of the Italian. It's all really great. If you hear very closely, you can actually hear the sounds of Australia's crime.
Okay, you just hear the alarm outside. Don't mind that. It's just an ambulance. It's just an ambulance.
It's funnier to think it's like another crime in Australia. Another crime.
Oh, come on. We're not that... We're not that, like...
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I hear things, alright? I hear things.
Cut us some slack, would ya?
Nah.
Anyways.
It's coming from an Australian. Who's never been in the country.
Come on. Anyways, yeah, maybe... What, I was just checking up on what films I've yet to...
Also, goddammit, John. Goddammit. This is why I love you. Alright, this is why I love you. He's like, Australia's crime. You mean Australia's routine? Oh.
Don't be so hot in the country. Come on.
I'm really tempted to make like a convict joke, but it's been made so many times. It's been made around me and it pisses me off, so. Like, oh, those all Australians are convicts. Wow, I haven't heard that shit before on Original Con.
When the first time Europeans moved in, it was mostly convicts.
Dan's like, Australia, you
they're
mean...
not wrong, but it's not trying to say everyone's like criminal over there.
Dan's like, Australia, you mean Arkham City. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the US has more convicts than fucking Australia. It's why like...
there's also... Hold on, sorry.
Sorry.
There's few more films I need to watch during the marathon. There's Laputa Castle in the Sky. Heard about that.
Laputa is my favorite Ghibli movie. Also one of my favorite films of all time. So, yeah. I fucking love Laputa. So I hope you enjoy that one because that one is so fucking good. The voice acting is...
Ghibli film I watch is so good. It's really actually kind of difficult to compare between the two because they like really good, yet they all are individual from each other.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's individual from each other? Sorry.
Each Ghibli film stands out. It also...
Oh yeah, of course they have
each
to.
Ghibli film,
Laputa, I think, is probably the most unique Ghibli film. If I had to say which is the most unique, it's Laputa. It stands out the most. It's more like Star Wars, actually. In fact, actually, like right down to the structure, it has the exact same structure as New Hope. Right down to a farmer boy, essentially, and he gets... and he finds a princess, and that princess guides him to this land, and there's like a army and a rebellion, and they fight against the army, and it's very similar to Star Wars. You'll notice as you watch the movie, it's literally Star Wars,
because, like,
but with steampunk elements.
Similar to Star Wars, like it's sort of like the hero's quest journey, hero's journey kind of thing.
Yes, hero's journey. It 100%. It 100% is the hero's journey story. It follows that to a T, and has a lot of stuff from Star Wars.
Does the main character have if he does follow a hero's journey, does the main character have like the old master advisor who advises him?
There isn't that actually. There's like, I think there is sort of a scene with one character. There's one character that sort of guides him a little bit, but he's not like an actual main character, and he's not that important. He's important for a few minutes. So there is no real Obi-Wan character, but there is like, excuse me, but there's like a lot of elements of Star Wars all throughout, but it is still its own like concept and original idea. Lapita itself is actually an island from Gulliver's Travels that was mentioned in a few paragraphs. So if you were to read Gulliver's Travels, it would mention Lapita. It takes a lot of inspiration from like old folklore and classical stories. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, Lapita is my favorite because not just because it's the most unique, but because I have sort of a thing for the hero's journey type stories. I have one weakness of mine is a really, really fun story with a good sense of adventure, which is why I liked Last Crusade so much, but also because it's a really well done movie. I think it's Ghibli's best film, in my opinion. It has a great structure. It's incredibly simple. I think there's one problem that, in my opinion, extends to Star Wars as well, as a whole. The pacing is off. So yeah, New Hope's pacing carried on to Lapita, unfortunately. There's moments in Lapita where it really slows down, and they have their purpose, but I feel like it could have been cut down a lot, which is a shame, because Lapita is a really beautiful film, and there's a lot to like, but there are those scenes that really drag on a bit too much, and they have a purpose to them in that, yeah, it has a lot of world building. World building is important for a story like this, but it's not that interesting of a world, if I'm gonna be honest. Lapita is a far more interesting place, and when you get to it, there's not really enough time to go into it, and that's fine. It all kind of like whizzes by you, really, but it's a really fun movie, and I hope that you'll have a good time watching it. It's also my favorite movie on an aesthetic
like
level.
it's like in terms of the output, it's like the most unconventional film, because like
it's more like a solid adventure. It's more of a solid adventure, and most Ghibli movies, they're a lot more grounded, a lot more, I guess, slower.
Okay, there's no conflict.
No, there's conflict in all of them.
I don't know what we define as conflict.
I mean, there's conflict in all of them within a certain extent. I mean, to say that there's no conflict is stupid.
It's more...
Like, Totoro, the conflict, actually, it's easy to say this, actually. I was gonna say it's hard to find conflict in Totoro, but there is, and that's Mei. Mei basically, thinking that Mei's dead. The conflict in the story is that, oh my god, Mei's gone.
Mei got lost trying to go to the hospital, and we almost thought she drowned in the lake.
It's more like the conflict is the mother's illness. That's the conflict in the story. And in Howl's Moving Castle, the conflict is the war. In fucking Lapita, the conflict is the military. In Spirited Away, the conflict is the witch and the whole world itself. And in Princess Mononoke, the conflict is pretty much in the rivalry and the humans. The evil people,
like
the
destroy
villagers.
The environment or something. But I haven't seen the film in quite a while, but I know, the environment gets point, and some people are not very happy about it.
I think, like, if I had to say one problem with Princess Mononoke, it's that its environmentalist message can be a bit ham-fisted, but that's the only thing you could criticize it for, because I think it's an amazing film. Objectively, I think it's probably the best Ghibli movie, objectively, but my personal favorite's Laputa, because I just have a thing for its structure, but,
Okay, well, my favorite is, I think, still Spirited Away.
That's fair enough. That's also a really good one as well. I think, like,
because that's only Ghibli film I watched as a kid.
well, it's like it's the one Ghibli movie anyone saw. Ironically enough, I didn't see Spirited Away until way later. That wasn't even my first one. It was everyone's first one, but. Oh, also, John, you just mentioned Ni no Kuni. That's my trigger word. Ni no Kuni is great. Kind of. Ni no Kuni is a very enjoyable little RPG that has a lot of Ghibli elements to it. The cutscenes, all the anime cutscenes are all animated by Studio Ghibli themselves. The character design and art design, it's all Ghibli. Basically, Ghibli did to Ni no Kuni what Akira Toriyama did to the Dragon Quest games, in that they just did the designs. They just did the character designs, the world, and the art design, also the backgrounds, and the anime cutscenes. So they basically, did all the visuals for Ni no Kuni, and it's developed by Bandai Namco Games.
Namco.
Yeah, the people that worked on the Naruto Ninja Storm games, basically. And yeah, it's a really good RPG. It has its issues and its problems. The music. Oh yeah, the music is also composed by Joe Hisaishi. That's another thing. Even the music. The music is
almost every Ghibli film always has like music by Joe Hisaishi.
Yeah, Joe Hisaishi composed everything by
soundtracks,
Ghibli.
but too bad they're like so strict on. I go on YouTube and they always block the audio.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is good, which is alright, but like most of the time, like, if I want to listen to the actual music, it's you can't.
Oh, you can for Ni no Kuni though, so it's cool. Ni no Kuni soundtrack is fantastic. Joe Hisaishi did an amazing, as it always is. Joe Hisaishi is a fantastic composer, but his work on Ni no Kuni is so good. The main theme for Ni no Kuni is still like one of my favorite pieces of music. His work on Ni no Kuni was exceptional, as it always is for everything. Princess Mononoke's theme song is amazing too. But Ni no Kuni, it touches on a lot of feels. Ni no Kuni makes you feel things. That's its main draw. I don't think I'm gonna spoil much by saying this, but Ni no Kuni literally starts with the main character's mother dying. That's how it starts. It's fucking sad. And yes, Ni no Kuni 2 is a thing. They're working on that. But it doesn't star the same characters. Same world, but different characters. Different protagonists, too. Yeah, next month, my dude. But yeah, Ni no Kuni, I really enjoyed. I really liked the characters. It has that sort of similar structure for Laputa as well, the Hero's Quest sort of thing. And yeah, it's a fun little Ghibli-style video game. It's the closest we're ever going to get to a real video game that feels like a living Ghibli movie. Miyazaki had nothing to do with it, so it's whatever. But Ghibli 100%, we're really into it. And on top of that, it has one of the most extensive lore I've ever seen from Ghibli. It has like a little book in the game, and it's like a compendium, and things are added to it as you play through the game, and you find things in the world. The book is amazing. it has so much shit in it. Like it has all these amazing like Ghibli illustrations and stuff, and they're all like Ghibli as hell. And like as a fan of Ghibli, it's so cool to see like all of these original drawings and designs put into this book, this in-game book, and it has all these spells and stuff. And it not only has all these spells, but they describe the spells in such detail, like lavish detail. Like they really go into it, including the characters and like what. It's great, and it's also a bit like Pokemon too.
Right, it is.
It has elements of Pokemon.
Dude, Ghibli can do no wrong. I mean, maybe Tales of
Oh, they can.
Sea
Oh, they
is
can.
the
They can do
best
wrong.
right there.
They can do wrong, but but like, yeah. I mean, they've had a spotted history in the past. Also, I can't click.
I can't. But other than Tales, well, I didn't even see Tales from Earthsea, but
Yeah, that'll
it's-
change your mind. I feel. No, Ghibli can do wrong. I feel like they've had their ups and downs. They've definitely have. But most of their work is pretty great. It's pretty great. I think if you could say one thing that's wrong with Totoro, it's that it's fucking slow, which is fair enough. It is very slow.
I may have to agree with you, but it doesn't necessarily bother me. It's just something Ghibli films tend to be slow at times.
No,
Also,
I'm
it's
not.
like-
I'm not saying that's. No, I'm not saying that I have a problem with that either. It is, but I'm saying like if you were to criticize the movie, I'd say that would be one valid criticism to make, is that it is very slow. Like it's at a snail's pace level. I mean, I don't mind it at all because I'm the kind of person that can sit through 2001: A Space Odyssey and be completely enthralled by it. And
What it
liked
lacks in pacing, it makes up for how beautiful it is. So
Yeah.
Neighbor Totoro is like every other Ghibli film, is really beautiful to really lavish, nice watercolor visuals. So if had it not been for the visuals, I would easily be bored.
I mean, yeah, I think there's, everything that they've made, can only work with animation as well. Like, Totoro as well. Everything in Totoro,
yes.
it's like, it needs to be animated. It can't work without the animation. I also love the cat bus sequence. I've always loved that. Since I watched the movie, since I got it on DVD and I watched it, I was like, I was
Magical to watch, and also quite amusing too.
I liked the cat bus. I'm trying to think of another. I think I've gotten basically every Miyazaki movie. I think I own pretty much every film he's ever made. Well,
I would just list every one and see what you make of it. Castle. Okay, so Nausicaa.
Nausicaa is amazing. It's the first real Ghibli movie, and it's fucking fantastic. Great animation, amazing, like really memorable characters and sequences. It's really fun to watch, and it's got a great story. And also, the voice acting is absolutely fantastic in the English dub. Great dub. Next one.
Castle in the Sky. Oh, you said something about
Yeah, I
it,
already
that's your
said a lot
favorite.
on Fabulous.
And you said it's your favorite because it has the hero's journey, and you just like hero, you just like
Yeah.
films with the hero's journey and all, right?
Basically, yeah.
Grave of the Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies is fucking depressing, but I love it. I think, like, again, like, I think it has issues with pacing, but I think it has a really good reason for why, and why it's so slow, because it tells this really fucking sad story, and, set during World War II, and it tells this side that isn't really kind of brought up nearly enough, and it's a real problem, and I don't know, it leaves you very angry, but also very, very depressed.
Like every other World War II film you watch, it's always
Yeah.
American side.
Well,
Maybe
no.
Sometimes.
No, it's only about the German, American, and British side. That's all it's ever really been about. Never about the German side.
It's really well. Grave of the Fireflies. It's like maybe the only film I watch, or the only World War II film I watch, or the Japanese.
Yeah.
From the Japanese perspective.
Yeah, where it's like shown to that the
Sucks
Americans
that the Atom
are
Bomb
the
just
evil
had to
ones.
go and ruin. Sucks that the Atom Bomb has go and ruin everything. Like, not all Japanese people are bad.
Yeah.
The film clearly shows that.
I mean, it was during like it was like the aftermath of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb. So yeah, shit was bad. Also, next one.
Okay, Totoro. You say it's slow, but I don't.
Yeah,
that
it's slow, but it's not. It's slow, but it's not a bad thing. It's a really fun, cutesy, enjoyable film that the whole family can enjoy, and it's a really beautiful, beautifully made film. Very well done, made with a lot of love. Next one.
I have a few words to say about it. My Neighbor Totoro seems like the most like only give film that's like clearly leaning towards kids. And funnily enough, when I attend the screening, the entire audience is pretty much made of adults.
Yes.
You expect half of the audience to be kids, and here with Totoro, it's like everyone's an adult here. I say it's kind of like leaning towards kids because like the and it's dealing with like, and there's really no there's obviously no violence or like anything that's too strong, action or anything.
It's just
you know
really
what I mean.
Chill. It's just a really chill, comfy little movie. Basically, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying that because like how do you say this?
Just 2 hours of fuck. How do you say this? What am I doing?
Sometimes I suck at conversations like that. You have to bear with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go to a more obscure ones. Only Yesterday.
Only Yesterday. I haven't seen that one actually. It's the only one. Skip that one. Skip that shit.
Kind of like
I have no idea what Only Yesterday is about. I just heard it's sad. I've heard it's about relationships or some shit. I don't know. Fucking next one.
Not too much about that because obviously neither of us have seen it.
Yeah.
From what I heard, the premise is about like while visiting the countryside, I think, and stuff. It's not maybe not as exciting as what Nausicaa or Castle. Oh, I love a grounded film from time to time if they do it right.
So it's sort of like what was it? It was Heart of something at Heart. What was it? Fuck. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, whatever. Let's just skip over that one. Next movie, Laverne. What else you got?
Porco Rosso?
Porco Rosso. Yeah, this one I actually haven't talked too much about. Porco Rosso is probably my third favorite. I love the setting. I love the time period. I love the characters. I love the message about it too. It's got a really great like wartime story, like pre-World War II, and it's incredibly well done, incredibly well written.
Italy?
Yeah, I mean it's set during Italy, but yeah, I love the setting. I love the characters. I love the moments. The dog fighting is fantastic. The amount of just authenticity and detail in the aircraft and just the amount of love put into the art design, the characters, the writing, it's all really well done. and the dub just absolutely further solidifies how well written it is, and how well voiced it is as well.
I find it pretty like kind of get funny. They do tend to be funny from time to time. Like, but I found Poco Wasabi the most. It's like the most because like you know, you're like how halfway through he needs to get his plane fixed, and it's actually like his friend's daughter that is fixing it.
Yeah.
And the humor comes from like how like a 17-year-old daughter, relatively young, pretty much 18-year-old girl is like fixing up this plane.
And the like uncomfortable sexual tension between Porco and the 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, I know they have.
And I'm just thinking, like, I'm just thinking, like, only in Japan, fellas, only in Japan. When in Rome.
Most of the laughter. That's how I get most of the laughter from, because like it's so awkward.
Yeah, well, it's Ghibli. I mean, it's a Japanese thing. I don't mind too much. And it's not like in your face, and it's not overt like some anime or like.
Oh, it's not cringy at all. It's not cringy at all. Poco obviously know his limits, but you know you can tell he's real.
No, it's not cringy. It's just more. It's more creepy than anything. But it's not too bad. It's not as bad as Nisei Monogatari. So it's not as bad as that. But it's blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah. By the way, John asked actually a question earlier, and I gotta answer it. All our hyped up Americana films. From your perspective, how much should I be embarrassed? Well, it depends on the movies. If you're talking like Pearl Harbor and Independence Day, pretty fucking embarrassed. Like mostly from Pearl Harbor, because that movie is awful and it's such an American like flag wavy piece of shit movie. Same with one movie that I really like called Hacksaw Ridge. That one's really good, but it's American flag wavy as fuck and really embarrassing. Because you're like, oh fuck yeah, this American goes in balls deep. Also, he left, so he didn't even get to see his answer. Whatever. Onward to the movies. What?
Moving on. Ocean Waves.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, because it's like a TV film.
I haven't even seen Ocean Waves.
Yeah, it is a TV film.
Whatever.
Set in Japan. Love triangle.
Boring. And now the microphone's dying. But anyway, Ocean Waves sounds boring. I don't like Ocean Waves.
You only need to watch it once you get the other films over and done with.
Yeah, that would be like one you'd have to save later for last.
Pompoko.
Oh god, I've seen that one. Pompoko is a trip. Pompoko is, I don't know if you've seen it. But Pompoko is, yeah, it's probably one of the more surreal ones. Fucking, wait a minute. What is this? Dan just sent me a message on Steam saying, Bing Bing Wahoo, Steam, make a funny noise on Matt's stream. Ha, joke's on you, that didn't even happen. Wow. He didn't even get to make a funny, stupid noise. I read it out, yeah. Oh, shit! Fuck! Oh! He was like, oh, God damn it, Dan! God damn it! He was like, but you read it out, that counts as the funny noise. Fucking retard, got him. Oh, fuck! Oh, I got him good! Got him good!
Oh, I do?
But anyway, John was like, Hacksaw Ridge was made by a Jew-hating, bigoted Nazi. How dare you even fucking shit him, some fucking trigger piece of shit. Yes, it's made by Mel Gibson, I know.
I seen with Hacksaw Ridge.
It's great, but it's made by a complete psychopath.
I watched it, I was pretty impressed, but then now that I think about it, there's some questionable.
Like, it's
One
flag
Oscar for
wavy,
film editing.
but the editing is horrible. It's bad. It's really bad. It's my guilty pleasure film. It's 100% my guilty pleasure film. If I had to say like what guilty pleasure film was mine for 2016, it was.
Anyways,
but yeah, no. Fucking next one after Ocean Waves, fucking.
Poco.
Oh yeah, sorry, Pompoko. Yeah, Pompoko is crazy. It's about a bunch of raccoons that use their testicles to morph into certain objects. Also, see ya, John. But yeah, no, they use their fucking balls to morph into things, including humans. Just saying that out loud, and also realizing that Pompoko was a kids' movie, it really makes you think. There's not many kids' movies that you can say are about fucking Japanese raccoons, tanukis basically, using their testicles, their ball sacks. It's their ball sacks that they're using. They're using their ball sacks to stretch and transform into humans, and also trees, and also other objects, and disguise themselves. I know it's part of Japanese mythology and lore, but it's so fucking ridiculous that it exists that I question life sometimes.
Even if you have the mythology context, there's no really if you have a film whose premise is around raccoons using balls too.
Yes. It's surreal. I mean, it's great that it exists, but I mean, like, oh my god, I felt uncomfortable watching it. But the movie is fun. It's a weird, funny movie by Studio Ghibli that Miyazaki had nothing to do with. It was directed by someone else, and it's decent.
It's the co-founder.
Yeah. Isao Takahata, I think. I don't know, but yeah,
his films are pretty good. His films are pretty good too.
It's not the best Ghibli movie. It certainly isn't that amazing. I think it's more of a shitpost than anything else. Anyway, moving on.
Maybe not necessarily bad, but not necessarily too good either.
Yeah.
At least, okay, whatever. Next, Whisper of the Heart.
That's the movie I was trying to think of.
Oh, I heard it's about like.
I watched a bit of it on TV. I didn't really watch the whole thing. It is the most boring Ghibli movie. If I had to say like the most boring, it's Whisper of the Heart. It's not that interesting. I know what it has. I know it has like a lot of aspects of it to make it interesting. It has the cool like otherworld thing, and it sets up a much more interesting movie, Cat Returns, which features the same character, the same like cat with the cane.
Yeah, I heard.
But yeah, the Whisper of the Heart basically. Yeah, Cat Returns is a sequel to Whisper of the Heart. Cat Returns is so different from Whisper of the Heart, though. It's a sequel, but it's so different. Their art style is different. The characters are different.
Say sequel.
And you actually see the cat world that the cat with the cane comes from. I forgot his name. But yeah. The Whisper of the Heart, though, is a boring movie. It's one of those movies that easily could have been done in live action. There's moments where it shows like the girl's book. I love the concept of Whisper of the Heart because I can relate to it, though. That's the thing. It's a good movie. It's actually a really, really beautiful movie, but in a different way.
objectively, but you just personally you just find it
I relate to it mostly because it's about writing. It's about making a story. It's about coming up with something and finding like other people to be inspired. It's about finding inspiration. It's about finding like the things that you enjoy doing and doing them and sort of striving to be better at what you do. I think that's mostly it, because it's about this girl with an overactive imagination, and she writes a book. She's like a high school girl, maybe not even that. She's like middle school, and she's like she wants to be an author, and she fucking writes a book, and she's striving for that book to be good, and she like has this guy who's like a violin. It's a very simple and basic ass thing. Mostly because it's not interesting, but I think what's interesting is how this girl wants to write a story, and I'm a writer as well. Like, as an aspiring writer, that's really cool, and I know that feeling of, you know, giving your short story to someone and, like, being absolutely fucking terrified of what that other person may think. And I've been in that situation with other writers as well, who I'm like... They're like, oh, let me see your work. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I show them it, and they're reading it, and they're, like, scanning it. And I'm like, oh, God. And I'm getting fucking, like, I don't cry, but I'm, like, I'm shitting myself because I'm terrified of what other people may think of my story. I'm just scared. Like, the shit makes me sad. Because I fear failure, and so does that girl. And I'm like... Holy shit, Whisper of the Heart speaks to me on a personal level, but it's not an interesting movie because it doesn't have anything other than I can relate to it. It's, I don't know, it's not my favorite. It has some amazing moments, but it's not that great. Moving on.
well.
Oh yeah, and I also fell asleep to Whisper of the Heart as well, so... Yo, Laverne, what you got?
Princess Mononoke.
Oh,
obviously, we already spoke words about it. Obviously,
yeah.
It's already a masterpiece.
It's okay. I wouldn't call it that. I don't think anything's a masterpiece, but Mononoke is certainly one of the best films. I think one of the best like action adventure movies ever made. It kind of expands upon everything that Laputa did, and kind of makes it a lot more grounded, a lot more. It's another Laputa, and I think it's like Laputa, but on a much grander scale, and it talks about themes so much grander and so much more important. And the problem with it could be, yeah, like, it's a bit typical, like, it's a bit stereotypical, like, yeah, the greatest enemy in this story is man! Like, yeah, I've heard this story, like, everywhere. Like, I've already heard this story before. But it's...
our greatest enemies, yada yada.
Yeah, like, wow, man is the reason why...
It's not necessarily a unique message either.
But yeah, whatever. Like, the rest of what I've said about Mononoke, I've already said anyway, so moving on.
Well, I realized I missed out another Ghibli film, but yeah. I'm not.
I mean, sure.
But it does have the same. Hayao Miyazaki directed it nonetheless. Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third. Yeah.
Might be mispronouncing it. Okay. Lupin the Third.
I used to pronounce it Lupin for a while, but it's actually Lupin.
That way,
it's a French name. But yeah, Lupin the Third is basically, it's not really a good. It's, yeah, Miyazaki directed it, but I wouldn't count it as anything because Lupin the Third is a very famous Japanese character and series basically, and Ghibli happened to animate a film based off of it. It's a very long-running Japanese series, and Ghibli.
So Miyazaki's debut is basically a sequel to a.
Well, I wouldn't say a secret. I wouldn't say a sequel. but there are a lot of films based off of it, and there happened to be one made by Studio Ghibli. Well, it wasn't actually Ghibli at the time. This is before Ghibli was formed, so no. It was directed by Miyazaki.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was concerned about. I'm not sure if it counts as Ghibli film, but same director, so you would think his vision would carry.
I don't know. It was actually no. It was also same studio, same people too, same animators. That would later form into Studio Ghibli in sometime in like the 70s. But Lupin the Third was made in like 1976 or so, which is like soon before Nausicaa came out, which would have been about 1982, I think, 1983. But yeah. That's before they were formed, but it was during Lupin the Third where they were thinking of forming a full studio, and that would be Studio Ghibli. Lupin the Third is not that great of a film. It's a good starting point, but it's not their best work. Objectively, it's just okay. If you're into 70s Japanese films, then it'll be for you. It is so 70s. It is so like right down to the music, the whole atmosphere of it. It's like, it's ripe with 70s anime cliches.
Is it so 70s it's kind of dated?
Yeah, like animation and story and everything, and characters too. They're very one-dimensional and kind of bland. I mean, if you're into Lupin the Third, then yeah. There's some people who are massive fans of the Lupin the Third franchise. It's a franchise. It's a massive franchise, and Ghibli happened to... Well, before Ghibli, I mean, like, Miyazaki took it on, and he was like, hey, I want to make a Lupin the Third movie. And, yeah, that was his first thing he ever did. Next one. I'm
like watching the teaser. No, I mean the trailer. I'm watching its trailer right now. It's
yeah.
I know what you mean when it's kind of 70s. I haven't seen much 70s animation, but the jazz music, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's actually not called Lupin the Third, sorry. It's called Castle of Cagliostro, sorry. Yeah, I completely forgot the name, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Dan, I can see why. No. I just didn't really care much for... I didn't care much for Castle of Cagliostro. It wasn't really my thing. Like, my problem with it is not, like, oh, it's so 70s, oh, it's so dated. My problem with it is just that I didn't really care for it. It just wasn't really something I was too interested in. Yeah, it does have a classical aesthetic, but it's just not really my thing. It's just not really something I was too, like, fond of, I guess. But, yeah, whatever. And I don't know. Castle Cagliostro just never really clicked for me. But, yeah, next one, I guess.
Doesn't really stand out to you, huh?
Yeah, it never really stood out to me. I have it on Blu-ray.
That's okay. Next, just want to hear your thoughts on it, that's all. Next, My Neighbors the Yamadas.
I don't know that one. I do know that one. I looked at it
and I'm like, this looks really simple. There's no way it's a Ghibli film.
Nah, it's a Ghibli. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it, and I've seen the trailer for it, but that's about all I know about it. I know there's, like, baby penises. That's all I know. There's penises everywhere in My Neighbors the Yamadas. That's pretty much it. That's all I can really say about it. There's penises. There are dicks everywhere.
Next, Spirited Away.
Oh, yeah.
You already shared a few words about it.
Well, actually, no, I didn't. I didn't really talk too much about Spirited Away, if I'm going to be honest. Spirited Away is fantastic. It's everyone's favorite. It's everyone's favorite Ghibli movie. That just, it's basically the film that, like, solidified Ghibli as, like, as a big deal. Like, other than Princess Mononoke, this was the one that really made people go, holy shit, Ghibli is amazing.
These are, like, America outside Japan. Spirited Away
Yeah.
is Spirited Away. Wait, like
It was a big deal. It was a big
Well,
deal for like
there's a
both
lot-
outside of the West and for both, you know, in the West and outside. Like it was a big deal. Spirited Away isn't my favorite either, Dan. I liked Spirited Away a lot. It's a really great movie, but it will never be my favorite. It was a huge deal though for anime films, for Ghibli in general. It was a huge success, and everyone loved Spirited Away, like everyone. But it will never really hold as much of a spark in my heart as Laputa or Princess Mononoke ever will. Like, Spirited Away is really great, but it just didn't really interest me as much as Laputa and Princess Mononoke did. It has the sort of hero's journey thing, but it shows it in a much more kind of slower light. It's a good movie, but yeah, it's just not my favorite either. My boy.
Okay.
Next.
Alright, I'm back. I'm here. I'm still here.
Yeah, he's fading away. He's fading away in the corner, but you're
The
still
cat
here.
returns.
Cat Returns, boy. This movie's weird. Cat Returns
It's
is
good,
a
actually.
sequel. It's a sequel to Whisper of the Heart, as I mentioned before, and it's
You say it's a very different. You say it's a very
Yeah.
different film from Whisper of the Heart.
it's
And they
not
share
the
that-
it's not the best Ghibli movie, but it's funny. It's funny in that it's a massive shitpost, and I like it kind of for the wrong reasons. I like it because I'm a cat person. I like it because I find it really funny that this girl falls in love with a cat. It's just really funny to me. This person's asking what's happening to handsome Squidward. Life, man. Life is happening to handsome Squidward. But anyway, blah. So, but yeah, no, like, Cat Returns is funny to me. It's funny to watch. I just find it incredibly amusing as a cat owner and as a massive, like, lover of cats, and also one of the cats looks like my cat, Kirby, which is really entertaining. I like it because I'm biased. I like it because I like cats. That's literally it. It's just funny to me. I find it really enjoyable and fun and stupid, and it literally doesn't even have that much to it. It's just a really simple movie.
It's for Ghibli film. It's kind of unconventional, you could say, because it's just more of a comedy film.
It also doesn't feel like it's animated by Ghibli at all. It is, but it doesn't look like that style. It doesn't even have that kind of look to it. It looks a lot more lower budget, if I'm going to be honest. It feels a lot more cheaper. And it definitely isn't their best, but I just like it because it has cats in it. It's a dumb reason to like it, I know, but I don't even care. I like it. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it, and it makes me smile. Because cats. Next one.
House Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle. Fuck yeah. I love Howl's Moving Castle. Like, it's up there with Princess Mononoke and Laputa for me. It's one of those movies where not much happens in it, but and by not much happens, I mean it's mostly told through the girl's perspective.
Yeah, there is a war going on, but most of the time we just only see.
Yeah, you see what's going on with
We're not
her.
even seeing the war. We just see.
It's not a
Side
focus.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not a thing that's a big deal.
We just got turned into
the
a
world's
woman, and
ending.
she's just.
The world's ending, and she's like, "I'm too old for this." It's a very classic little story as well. But it makes a lot of interesting decisions with this adaptation, and it's a great adaptation. And it makes a lot of really cool little decisions Voice acting is also really good in the dub as well, which I keep forgetting to bring up, but Christian Bale voicing Howl is quite amusing. But yeah.
Christian Bale of all people.
Yeah.
No, wait. I think it's a Popeye.
What? Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
I don't know what he quite said there, but whatever. But yeah, Christian Bale's fun. His whole performance is really entertaining. I feel like it should have been given to someone with a higher voice, but it still worked really well. The animation, once again, is beautiful. I think it's probably some of the best animation that they've done. It's got some really cool lore. It's got a good enough story. It's like a fairy tale. And yeah, I mean, it's a decent love story. I mean, yeah, I really liked it. Fantastic Ghibli
I liked
movie.
it too.
Next one.
Again, amazing visuals.
Your thoughts?
Nice characters. Nicely well. Very unique characters as well. Like it's you have this ordinary woman, and then you have this wizard, and then you have this
the flame guy. I like the flame guy.
Who is evil at first, but then not really evil as much as she just wants to win. How very much.
Yeah, but I like the flame guy though.
Calcifer, that's his name, the flame.
Yeah, Calcifer. Yeah, that's it. I'm terrible with character names. I've always been bad with Ghibli names. Yeah, I love Calcifer. He's my favorite. Next one, boy.
English dub. He's voiced by Billy Crystal.
Oh shit, he is voiced by Billy Crystal. I actually forgot that.
Mike Wazowski,
I always wondered why he sounded like Mike Wazowski.
He is voiced by the same guy who voiced Mike Wazowski.
I completely forgot about. I didn't actually realize. I didn't know that was Billy Crystal. That makes so much sense why his voice sounded so familiar. Oh, that's good.
Anyways, I thought that was hilarious. Tales from Tales from Earthsea. We already shared a few words about.
It's
myself,
sad.
But I hardly. How the heck am I going to be disappointed from a Ghibli film? Asking you, Matt. If I were to watch it, am I going to be disappointed or just?
I don't know.
Happy with the film?
I think just set yourself up, not for disappointment. Don't be disappointed if you don't like it. Just keep an open mind about it. That's all I gotta say.
The adaptation of the same book of the same name.
Yep.
So if anyone read, I think the people who are going to be disappointed are the ones who read the book, because from what I heard, it's less. It's not really faithful.
I think more people who would be disappointed by it would be people that are setting up expectations for it being a Ghibli movie. I think that's more the problem.
Okay, so maybe it's not up to other Ghibli films, but there's certainly worse anime out there if you were to compare it to other anime, right?
Oh yeah, big time, man. But yeah, no, Tales from Earthsea. I mean, it's just not even. It's arguably the worst Ghibli movie. Anyway, moving on.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I need to get something first.
Son of a bit. Alright. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna look at Studio Ghibli films. Look at the ones I've already covered. So there's Tales from Earthsea, Whisper of the Heart. There's one film we haven't talked about yet so far, and that is actually Kiki's Delivery Service. I'd like to get into this one. Kiki's Delivery Service is fucking amazing. I love Kiki's Delivery Service. Oh, I'm talking about Kiki's Delivery Service now. But,
How do I miss out? How do I skip that film?
yeah, I don't know how you did that. Kiki is so good! Dan says Kiki is comfy Kino. I agree with that. It is so comfy. It is one of my favorite ones.
So far.
Like, it is incredibly comfy. It's incredibly well made, animated. I love it. I love the characters. I love the setting.
I'm drinking hot chicken soup.
Hot chicken soup. Hell yeah.
Like, it's so comfy.
But yes.
For conflict, just accept like maybe Kiki like dealing with like
cancer.
Dealing with like living by herself.
No, I think the conflict actually is more so dreams. Like dreaming of doing this thing. Dreaming of accomplishing something in life and just it not happening. It's a very brutal like perspective of like wanting to do something and it just not happening. I know like I can relate to it a lot because my brother he wanted to be a big, rock star. When he was a teenager, he wanted to be like a big guitarist, and he was an amazing guitarist. He still is. I mean, he's fantastic. One of the best guitarists I've ever known. And he even had a band at one point, but he just can't do it. He can't realize his dream ever because it's never going to make him money. So he ended up being a hairdresser, and that's how he ended up getting a business with it. But, it's not something he truly wanted to do in the long run. He wanted to be a music guy. But he has to do this hairdressing thing. Similar to what Kiki's Delivery Service kind of does with, her dreams of fucking being a delivery
She's still
service.
figuring it out even from the beginning. Like, she wants to become a witch, but what kind of witch? What kind of special skill does she have?
And, the whole world says no. Fucking idiot. It's a great film, though. And it's got a great message, and it's a really, really, really nice film. Truly great Ghibli movie. Okay. Next one.
What's the next one?
Okay, I guess I'll read it. Ponyo. Next one is Ponyo. Ponyo is good. It's just good. I don't have much to say about Ponyo. It's okay. It's just okay. It's beautifully animated. It's amazing visuals. I just never really found Ponyo that interesting.
I need to be right back. Sorry, I need to go for a while.
And Dan's like, Ponyo is the weak, comfy film.
Matt?
It's comfy, but what?
I gotta go for a second.
Okay. Dan's like, go back to talking about Kino's deliveries. Kino's delivery service. Kino's delivery service. Yes. It's incredibly comfy little movie from the late 80s. The dub is also really, really good. I love the music. I love the atmosphere. It just has an old charm about it that not many of the other Ghibli movies have. It just has an incredibly warmness to it. Also, now that you're back, Ponyo. Ponyo is It's just It somewhat achieves the Ghibli effect, but I just didn't feel much from Ponyo. It didn't make me feel much.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it's really simple compared to Princess Mononoke Spirited Away.
I didn't like the story. I didn't like the characters. I just didn't really care about it. I found the main kid really annoying. And I just didn't really care much about him. I didn't really care about any of what was happening. I just kind of tuned myself out of it, really. I mean, yeah, it's a comfy film, but it's not really going anywhere, in my opinion. I think it's a little too loose. Like, it's one of those Ghibli movies where I feel like they went a bit overboard with it, a little bit overboard with its aesthetic. And they should have turned it back a little bit. Like, it just feels too... Ugh! I love the opening, but it just doesn't really go that much further past that point, in my opinion. Next one, The Wind Rises. This is Miyazaki's last film, or at least he said it was.
You skipped some films here.
No, there's more. There's more. There's more here.
The Rarity?
But, did you just say a rarity?
I'm only mispronouncing it.
It's Arrietty.
Arrietty.
Jesus. Yes, Arrietty. Arrietty, just to preface this with Arrietty, there's actually there's two different English dubs that exist. The British dub and the American dub. The American dub has more American actors in it. The British dub has more British actors in it. So yeah, the American dub has more, like, yeah, celebrities and stuff. British one has more popular people from the country. But I can't really remember who specifically. But yeah, the American dub I know has Amy Poehler in it and Will Arnett. But I never saw the American dub.
Sorry, that's funny. They're both. I think they're both married to each other.
Oh, well, that's funny. But yeah, I never saw the American dub. I only saw the British one because guess what? You get the British.
I probably am wrong. Will Arnett is BoJack Horseman, right?
Yeah, he is. He's BoJack, but he's also
he's also in
he's also in Arrested Development as well. And
that's our best. Yeah, he's married to, well, recently divorced to Amy Poehler.
But yes, Arrietty is fucking meh. It's very meh. And I've only seen the British dub, which I forgot who was in it. But yeah, it's the only Ghibli movie that actually is different from region to region. So yeah, if you buy a copy of the movie in England, that's it. It's only using the British actors. But if you get it from America, you get the American actors. So yeah, it's the only way to watch the American dub is to actually buy and import an American copy of the movie. You don't get the choice. But yes, anyway, other than that, aside from that, it's a very bland movie. It's based off of a very British story called The Borrowers. And it's I just don't really care about Arrietty. I just didn't really care as much about it. Like, yeah, the visuals are amazing. But I just didn't really find it as enthralling as every other film by Ghibli. I just didn't really find it that interesting. And I just gave up on it. I've watched it about 3-4 times now. Once with my brother, actually, and my brother and I were both like, just, meh. Like, I see what you're doing here. It didn't stand out to me whatsoever, and yet the visuals certainly did. But it's Ghibli, so, I mean, again, you can't go wrong there. Then after that, we got The Tale of Princess Kaguya. From Up on Poppy Hill, I'm not going to include here because I have not seen it. But
The Wind Rises is actually next. The Wind Rises is the one about the.
Oh yeah, I forgot to cover that. Wind Rises is great. It's amazing. I love The Wind Rises. It has its small issues, but I didn't really mind that. I found it a really entertaining film, and a good last film for Miyazaki. Well, self-proclaimed last film for Miyazaki. And yes, I really enjoyed it. I found it really, really good. About basically the whole film is a metaphor for Miyazaki's career with Studio Ghibli. That's all it really was. All of it is heavily reflecting on his experience, as well as this man's experience with planes and shit. It's like Porco Rosso, but without the fantasy element. And it's about just a guy making planes. It's a lovely, comfy little movie based somewhat around World War II.
Nothing too exciting is happening, but that's okay, because it's right?
Yeah. It's okay. It's a good movie. I really liked it. And then we got The Tale of Princess Kaguya, which I got to see in the cinema when it came out. It's the only Ghibli movie I actually saw in the cinema. I was a young lad at the time. I was like, hell yeah, it got localized over here. Time to check it out, and I can only see the Japanese version of it. So I watched it with subtitles, and it was amazing. Watching it in a cinema that was mostly empty, by the way. The whole room was almost entirely empty, and the first thing I heard was like the Foley effects, the sound design, everything. It was all amazing. Some of the best sound design I've heard, and like My Neighbors, the Yamadas, it has a very minimalist style. It doesn't look like Ghibli, but it absolutely is Ghibli. It's ripe with detail, and it looks almost like an Automatic on how stripped down it is. But it's a really truly unique film. It's a really unique little film, and I absolutely love it. It's very surreal. It's about growing up. It's about sort of the transitions of dealing with age, and sort of how crazy it can be, and how crazy like growing up can really be, and sort of being a princess on top of that. Shit's great. I love it. It's a very comfy movie as well. I would call this comfy kino as well. I just really liked Tale of Princess Kaguya. I don't know. I can't say much about it. I just found it really like I could watch it over and over and over again, and always consistently feel really at peace while watching it. Also, I think that's it. Because after that we got one more.
Yeah, well, there's one more when Money was.
Yeah, when Money was there, which I
can't say
I've seen.
That.
I haven't seen. Then there's the Red Turtle, but I haven't seen either.
Go start with Money when Money was there. Go on.
No, I haven't seen When Money Was There. I haven't seen the Red Turtle either. I've pretty much like past the Tale of Princess Kaguya. I haven't seen any Ghibli movies afterwards, so I can't really say too much. Cause yeah, fixing my mic. It's really annoying. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it really about Ghibli. Also, it's 3 in the morning, and I should probably get ready for tomorrow. So.
Yeah, probably. So.
And also, I've been talking everyone's ears off. This is the most This is the most I've talked in like weeks. So. My throat hurts and my jaw hurts from talking and speed talking. I apologize. viewers for having to listen to me ramble with my poor Asian friend that had to listen to my bullshit. I'm sorry that I didn't let you have a single word in. Part of that was because of your bad Wi-Fi. Part of that was because you keep cutting out anyway, so I couldn't tell if you wanted to say anything, so I apologize for that. But at the same time, it's out of my control because your Wi-Fi is bad. So, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's the end of the problem. I think that might be the end of the stream, so, yes. Thank you, Dan, for checking out the stream. I feel like I should have brought you on, but oh well. And, I'll see you fellas later.